want to share a story with you. This is a story about the church. Not a building, of course, but the people who are the church. It's a story about obedience and the Lord orchestrating kingdom movement within his church. It's about his presence walking with us, guiding us, and directing us through every step. This story is actually about some dear friends of mine. I've known Richie and Holly Shuler for 15 years, and we've done a lot of life together. We've had some really good times together, and we walked through some really hard things together too. I think of 15 years of friendships, meals shared, book clubs, marriage retreats, just serving alongside one another.
So that's how I initially got plugged in, and then when we started the encounter, obviously playing guitar. I've been playing guitar since I was 13, and I absolutely love it. In college, I was in a band, and at one point would love to have made it.
And then your friends tell you that they're leaving. The opportunity of a lifetime has presented itself, and you know it's what they've always wanted to do, and it's been their dream for years.
So they were going to kind of bring me on as a partner and the kind of an owner-operator, so I would be the feet on the ground there in Arkansas. So we prayed about it quite a bit, talked about it, and then decided that it would be a move for our family.
So the time came, and they left. And we went down and visited them there, but it wasn't quite the same here. It definitely felt like they left a hole.
5 or 6 years ago, we started the Recess program, and that is a monthly night for kids with special needs and their siblings. And so we do that once a month during the school year, and so I coordinate that. So being in Arkansas, I sort of felt like we had left a hole, and that upset me.
And then we finally opened up in July, and I didn't take a day off for almost 2 months. And so that we were open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. And so I was working 12 to 16 hours a day. So about a month and a half in, when I finally did take a day off, it really wasn't a day off. I started feeling like maybe it's not the place for us. And it wasn't just the restaurant. It was Arkansas. I don't know if God wasn't done with us here, or, if we really shouldn't have gone to begin with. And so that's kind of when, for me, that it started. Just kind of, curious as to what we were doing there.
I remember it very clearly. I was sitting on the couch with Jeremy late one evening, and I get a call from Richie on my cell phone. And he's, "Hey, Kim, it's Richie." I'm like, "Hey, Richie, what's up?" "Well, Holly and I need you to find us a house." "Oh, what?" "We need you to find us a house. We're coming back to Bolivar." And I remember saying, "Jeremy, did you hear this? Did you hear this? Richie and Holly are coming back to Bolivar." I just kept saying, "Our friends are coming home. Our friends are coming home."
And my partner, Mark, who, again, I told you he's a music minister, just a man of God. He said, "Look, we both thought this was, we prayed about it, thought this is what God wanted you to do, and God has a season for everything, and this one was just short."
You know how in the Old Testament it talks about how the Lord led the people of Israel with a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night? Well, I'm reminded of the passage in Numbers 9. So whenever they got to where the Lord said they were going, they would stop and set up the tent of tabernacle, and the cloud would just dwell over the tent. The cloud of the Lord would just sit there and dwell over the tent. And I love it. It says, the cloud might stay over the tent for 2 days or a month or a year. And as long as it stayed, the people camped there. But when it lifted, it moved. So when the presence of the Lord said it's time to go, then the people went.
But then, after we had made the decision already to move back, we hadn't told anyone yet. In the beginning of November, I got an email, and it was from Missy and Jen Coleman, Yin Watson, the Hodsons, the Cohens. Just a group of people had gotten together and started having meetings about, we're going to do recess, we're going to do special needs ministry, we're going to do buddy system. And they just emailed me about it, saying we met together. And I was able to reply and say, "Hey, that's great, we're coming back."
When we walk with the presence of the Lord, He leads us and directs us over every mountain, through every valley. He'll usher us into our next great adventure. Sometimes He guides us right back home. The church is a beautiful thing. I love the church. It's where we can just come honestly before one another and before the Lord. It's where we're stronger together and can accomplish way more corporately than we ever could as individuals. The church is the means through which God brings his kingdom right here on earth. And here, each of us has something to bring to the table. And if we're walking in step with the Lord, his presence is with us, the same power that raised Christ from the dead. And we can be confident of this, that he who started this good work within us will see it through to the end.